Hey, we got there in the end. That's good. Alright, now I can close this. No longer need you. No longer need you. So yes, believe it or not, this is the game I've been playing recently. I just deleted my old save file, because, you know, didn't really need it if we're going to play it here. So let's see how much it'll let me get away with in this window of making it larger. Oh, okay, I see the issue here. In case anybody has not worked with layering on a computer system, it can really throw you off when you're not paying attention to which layer is on top of the other. And that's exactly what I just did, so that's why I was having issues seeing that. I really just don't want to do that. Alright, well, we'll just push it out to here. It's not going to look super great in terms of, like, it being spot on where there's a black line on one and not on the other. But it's a nice big screen, and that's what's important. And it's not cut off on the left or anything like that, so don't worry about that. I'm just giving it as much space on the thing as I can. So that will have to do. So again, like last time, since this is being done on a completely different capture card, on a completely different game, if my audio sounds off to the game, just let me know when we actually get into the meat and potatoes, as one would oft say. So yes, this is the HD version of Wind Waker, not the ye old one. This is like the proper thing being played on a gamepad right now. So we'll be doing the HD version, and of course I'll be doing it on hero mode. You take double damage and you will not be given any recovery hearts. I don't need no stinking recovery hearts. Who do I look like to you? Jeez. You seem to forget that I had to play through many a challenge in this game. I can take on hero mode. I'm not going to do 3 heart hero modes, just give me a classic hero mode, but I'm not going to pick up everything. So, Wind Waker has a story, and we're going to skip that. Because we want to get into the meat and potatoes, man. The good meat and potatoes. Which really, I kind of figured out one of the issues I have with this game and Twilight Princess. It takes a while to get to the meat and potatoes. Because you don't get, like, the really good items that open up a lot of stuff to you, looking at the bombs, the bow and arrow, the hook shot, until very, very late in the game. Because at least with Ocarina, like, you get the hook shot prior to the Forest Temple, you get the bow and arrow in the Forest Temple, you get the bombs almost immediately. So, I don't know, something gets lost in there when you don't get to use some of the really cool items for as long as you'd like, and I think that might be the issue. Because for me, Wind Waker, the issue is not the graphics. I don't mind the cell shading. I think it actually looks kind of cool, very stylized. Music's phenomenal, so it's clearly not the music problem. The dungeons, I don't think I have a problem with them. It's hard to say. I kind of wish there were more, but then again, Majora's Mask, kind of an issue. Like, I go back and forth. The first time I played it, I had a lot of hard times with the Wind and Earth temples. Now they just feel incredibly linear, more so than even the Ocarina dungeons do. And I've played Ocarina through many more times than I have this game. But a lot of the issues that were in the first game have gotten fixed in the HD. The whole, there's a lot of world and there's, not much to do, but you're just sailing around, all that. Like, I get the adventure aspect of that, but for people that, have not as much time, i.e., you're not a kid and you're not, in the middle of summer where you're not doing anything, you don't have a job, you can just hang around with friends and play video games all day, that might not be a problem. But for people that are on a time crunch like me, that work multiple jobs, and that are, full-time in university, that can kind of be a problem. We want to be able to get to the good stuff, as it were. I'll go ahead and grab the pigs now. Or fall in the water. I think that's where some of the issues can come in. And Twilight Princess, again, has that same problem. There's, like, vast expanses of land with nothing in them. Nothing important, anyway. So I think that might be where some of the problems come in there. But a lot of the big things that were in the original game that gave me, personally, problems, most of them are... So what I tried to do earlier, as I mentioned whenever we were doing Coliseum, is I tried to roll. Like in this game, I tried to roll around. Because I feel like in Wind Waker, beyond all games, the rolling actually does feel like it speeds you up. Some other games, it doesn't feel like it makes that much of a difference. This game... And I think an example of that is like Ocarina of Time, you have that pause like right after you're done rolling where you stop moving. This game you don't, you keep going straight through. And I still think I'd put this game higher than Twilight Princess for a couple reasons. One of them being, this game does feel a lot more smooth and controlled than Twilight Princess does. Like, definitely does. Like, even the original of this game going against the HD of Twilight Princess, I would still say it feels more natural. No, I don't want to talk to you. I was trying to pick up this pig. Or you get that in Ocarina of Time, like, hey, here's how you target something, and then you can press A to talk to them. You can also use it to target enemies. Like, yeah, I got it. Move the mic slightly so I can see my rupee count. Also, as you may have noticed, well, probably wouldn't, but yes, the pictograph box is immediately available to you. And it automatically starts in color as well, rather than using black and white, where you can't do a lot of the side quest stuff unless you have the colored pictures. There's a hair on my nose. There we go. It's like a dead hair that fell off me and it got stuck between, like, my eye and my glasses. Alright, so there's two of the pigs. Now we gotta get that third one over there. This guy over here will tell you, like, how to sneak up on the pigs, where you have to, like, walk really close, or you can just, like, army crawl across the ground, which seems to be an easier way to get them, but take your pig. This may feel like a lot of stalling rather than doing what you're actually supposed to, but you do want to get the bait bag pretty early, and I like trying to fill up the bait bag as much as I can. So you can get 60 rupees from her, you can get 15 from jumping around on the cliff sides. There's of course the obvious one that everybody knows about, which is the one under the house that gives you 100. Once you get the sword, there's another 15 that you can pick up, so you can get about 200 with no real issue. I get that it's supposed to be like a hidden treasure underneath the house, like maybe, you know, like, oh, someone kept their savings down here, but it would have had to have been Link or Errol, right? Or, like, Link's parents that are not in the picture. It couldn't have been his grandma. There's no way she could have done this. Maybe in her youth, but certainly not now, but if that was in her youth, then that little basement area has surprisingly kept up quite well with the distinct lack of bugs and whatnot that are in there. There was like one cobweb, but that's not that bad. So I don't remember if they did this in the original game. I think they kept the dialogue the same, but it is actually changed here if you play this the second time around. Because, again, most people probably know this, but if you've played this game before, you know that whenever you play again, you get the hero's new clothes, and it's literally nothing. You just play as Outset Link the entire game rather than his typical green tunic. But in this one, she's like, oh, why can't you see them? Rather than, you know, the, I know they might be a little warm for this weather. Yeah, it makes sense. They suit you part. Yeah, it's almost like I'm not wearing anything new at all. I do like the grandmother figure for Link, though. It's nice to see him, like, actually have some proper family in a game. Because, like, Ocarina, he was just, you know, like, you never heard what happened to his father, and then you know his mom died. Like, you get that whole discussion, dialogue thing at the end of beating the forest temple. They tell you, like, oh, this person took their child into the forest and then passed away, so now he's an orphan, but he lives with all these kids. It's nice to see him have an actual, like, bloodline family. Like, sure, you don't know what happened to his parents, but at least he has, like, a sister and a mom, or a grandmother, you know. I feel like that's a good touch, and it helps because, you know, Link obviously looks and probably is a lot younger than his Ocarina of Time, and definitely his Twilight Princess incarnations. Or at the very least, the adult version of him in Ocarina of Time. I think it's the same outfit. I think you need a new look. Yeah, she'll say something like, but wow, don't those clothes, or aren't they kind of warm for this weather? Happy birthday! You got a telescope. Hooray! What a useful item, he lied. It actually does come in handy in some instances, particularly if you're looking for things out in the ocean and can't find them that well. So you need to get to the point, because normally it should be like, are you looking at the red post box? Then once you are looking at it, then you'll zoom in. If you zoom in and then go to the post box, it actually doesn't trigger this cutscene. You have to do it in that order. It's kind of odd. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. Just keep firing. I know you have to reload, but keep firing. Where'd you even get all these rocks, dude? That cartoony effect of like, oh no, I'm about to get hit, rather than, I don't know, flying out of the way of it. Into the two-dimensional forest. Oh no, not the two-dimensional forest. That's much less safe than the three-dimensional forest. What if she gets attacked by Mr. Game & Watch? We'll have to go and save her now, won't we? But if you try to go up to the top of the forest path, you'll find that it is impossible to get by, currently equipped as you are. You'll have to find something to be able to cut down the trees. Again, I'm assuming that most people who are watching this have probably played this game, so I'm not going to go heavy into tutorials. That's the upside to not doing a Let's Play and instead just streaming it. Yeah, it really is odd that it's just that single catapult. I guess having, like, you know, cannons on the side really wouldn't be helpful in this situation, since it's an airborne enemy rather than, you know, like another pirate ship or something, but it is funny. So yeah, the generic tutorials that they teach you how to do. Horizontal slice, vertical slice, which usually turn into like these combos that look nothing like the default vertical slices. Very good, keep thrusting. Ow. Hey, I did it correctly. Yeah, the thrust move has really, like, wonky things when you're in this tutorial, just whenever you're, Oh, this is probably spin attack, if I had to guess. Yep. And then you can also just rotate. Or not. Rotate once and tap B. Well, it ain't working, so. And then you got the parry, which is a newer thing in Wind Waker, but you probably recognize some of these moves from Twilight Princess. It's like the helm splitter, the back slice. We've not finished our practice. What? Oh, you probably wanted the jump attack, correct? There you go. Enjoy. Na-na-na-na. You accepted the hero sword. Wield it with B. I'm actually going to check something very quickly. And yes, it was supposed to do that, don't worry. Give it a moment. Alright, just checking to see if I could do something on there. Guess not. I was going to set the FPS on the actual capture card to custom to match the the one going on in what I have set for my presets in OBS, meaning it would be lower, but for whatever reason it would let me do that. It would just outright not let the game window show up, so that's kind of an issue. So yeah, now you can break these trees, get another 10 rupees there. Usually breaking the pots will give you a couple. Of course, breaking grass will probably get you another decent amount. This is probably one of the few examples in like a Zelda game where money is easy to come by, but you actually do need it for a fair chunk of the game. And thankfully, no, not just the Triforce charts, which have been simplified down to a much easier process in this game than they ever were in the original. That's usually where most people stop playing in the game, is when they realize they have to decipher all those stupid charts. And I don't blame them, but it's kind of a shame whenever something like that happens for games, specifically when you're really close to the end. So yeah, you can cut the grass for this guy. I don't remember if he actually gives you any reward for doing this. I think he just says your reward is like all the money you picked up from cutting down the grass. All the rupees. Already did, dude. Isn't a thankless. Well, you're not thanking me. He is right, though. You can find, like, magic items in there. Arrows. You know the drill. Hard to believe that the re-release of this game, the HD version of this game, is already 5 years old. That just absolutely blows my mind. Hey, a roop. That'll bring us to 200. Very nice. And don't fall off of this now. Probably make it back to the mainland before I do. I do find it funny that this is the version of Link that has lived on an island presumably his whole life, and yet it's the one where he actually has a finite amount of stamina to swim, rather than like the Ocarina of Time version where you can just swim for forever. Like, you'll choke underwater without the Zora tunic, but even then he can last like you can beat the water temple without the tunic pretty easily, actually. Oh hey, a pig snout. Well, while he's busy getting up from that, let's just go ahead and grab this. So your default wallet in this game can hold 500 rupees, because I believe in the original game it was 300? Meaning you could probably max out your wallet, well, no, probably. You could max out your wallet pretty easily before even having to leave the island for the first time. I mean, I picked up everything I could find thus far, and I've already gotten over 200. And provided that I was cutting the grass a little more, I could just go in and out of the door until I got to 300 and get there pretty dang quickly. I like how they dropped them down with, like, no weapons or anything. 200 in the original. Wow, it was less than I thought then. Jeez. So yeah, the fact that they start you with a 500 is very, very nice. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. I see they borrowed the color of your hair from Zelda from Ocarina of Time with the tennis ball green. Her eyebrows are even greener than that. Who is this jackass over here? I thought for sure you died. You fell like 300 feet, man. Freaking Gonzo just jumping around like an idiot. There's one shot later. He looks like a monkey in the shot. Like, I'll show it whenever we get there. It's not that far away either. But he looks like a monkey. It's just hilarious. He kind of looks like a monkey there. Hey! Errol, how'd you get past the trees? They respawn whenever I go through a door. Unless you just happen to follow behind me at a distance that I couldn't see you, and therefore managed to get past them before I went into the two-dimensional forest. Yoink. Don't ask me how he managed to get Errol and not, like, break some of the ropes on the bridge or anything, or even make the bridge move. Because I don't know. For honor! I would have been fine. There's water down there. Even though if you actually fell from a great height and hit water, it would still kill you. And like that, there goes our sister. We're playing 2 games that involve sisters at the start of the game. We had XD. Yeah, right here. This is where he looks like a monkey. And then this game. And just what do you mean by that? Just be quiet for a moment, I'll tell you. Even if there was no water, you've only lost a heart. Yeah, that's also true. Objection, Your Honor. That is nothing more than mere speculation. That's not brave, it's stupid. Now, I do remember a lot of people saying that they really, really did not like the idea of the Forsaken Fortress. Like, the whole, like, you just got your sword and you've already lost it. And so you have to stealth through a section. I don't mind stealth in Zelda games as long as it's not, like, all the time. Like, probably my limit would have been, like, if they'd done one more of the, like, the Silent Realms and Skyward Sword, that would have been too much. I think 4 was a good amount, and honestly, no more than that. Well, before we go and get that shield, let's actually go and get our bait bag and some other junk for it. Beetle looked kind of creepy on the side of that ship there. Hi. Dude, you really need to put a shirt on. I know it's hot in here, but, like, either, like, do some sit-ups or something while the boat's going around. Alright, so most of my money's going to go into buying the bait, obviously, to get the map later on when you can start filling that in. But it's very easy to cap out your rupees before you, like, genuinely need a lot of them, so don't feel bad about spending every last penny you've gotten here. Thank you. Yes, thanks to you. I'm gonna back out of that really quickly to see how much bait I've got in here. Alright, perfect. I'll grab one more of these. And then we'll grab 2 of the Hyoi pears for later. Which don't get used near as much as the bait, but on the off chance that I need some for wherever I go, I'd really rather not be missing out on those. And there we go, everything's filled up in our bait bag. 6 things of the bait and 2 Hyoi pears. Is it really true? Yeah, the other day when I was playing this, I'd gotten pretty far. I'd gotten to the point where I had just picked up Jaboon's Pearl, and I was going around doing some extra stuff before starting the Tower of the Gods. But I actually, like, went back into all the houses while it was raining here, because, you know, the curse is put on the island, so it's nighttime, and there's a lot of enemies roaming around at that point. just to see what people would say, but it was all pretty much the same thing, unfortunately. It was like, I'm really glad that you're okay, Link, and lately there's been a lot of monster attacks at night. Oh, poor Link. He looks so sad there. Also, this music here, while very sad, is a very beautiful piece. Like, it's amazing how many good songs there are in the game, like this, that you only hear, like, while you're in here. And then also when you first come back and she's ill and you use a fairy to heal her. Like, it's amazing how much time is put into, like, the music and pieces in games that normally most typical players would see for, like, maybe 30 seconds. Alright, let's do this. Monster attacks, I mean, yeah, really, very threatening. I guess it could be threatening for people, aside from Orca, that don't know how to use a weapon at all, because he's the only one that does. He's got that little spear thing. Onward! To freedom. You can actually see Granny in that shot right there where the ship's pulling away. You can barely see her in the background, but she's already outside. She was watching the whole time. They make it seem like you've got this group of people that were cheering you on, and then she was just still in the house grieving. It is a scene that's done really well, though, because when you think about it, it's like, it's one thing to, like, for if I move, like, you know, there's people that are gonna miss me, but my town is huge compared to this. This is a town that has, like, yeah, it'd be like if you left a town that had, like, only a couple hundred people. Like, you would know a pretty decent percentage of those people, and here, where you've only got, like, 10, you know, if you leave, like, everybody's gonna want to see you off and say goodbye, because, you know, they only know you and a couple other people. In theory, Link's built relationships with every single one of those people, at the very least, you know, with his grandma and his sister for sure, probably with the 2 other kids that are around there. And is at least, you know, friendly with the, any of the other adults that are there. But, I mean, there's only 4 houses in there. It's the one that your grandma and Errol in, there's the one with Orca and, his brother. And then the other 2 are split between the 2 remaining people, with the one with the kids and then one without. We traded it all away for a pirate's life, yar har. This guy's face reminds me of the star fruit from Plants vs. Zombies. Where he just has the one singular tooth. So yes, it gives you a tutorial about how to jump and how to, like, swing on the ropes. Which, outside of here and Forsaken Fortress, rarely gets used. It's used more so in the grappling hook sense rather than having to jump on something that's already there. Like the candelabras or whatever you want to call them. A Mr. Potato Head they didn't finish playing with. I can believe that, yeah. It'll probably take you at least 1 year before you're good enough to make it all the way here. One rough year, or one tough year, full of bumps and bruises. Oh, well, I'm sorry, guys. It's going to take a year for me to do this. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is put all the things back down. Because the timer was already going. There we go. Man, I can't believe it's going to take me an entire year to do this. Like, oh, it's going to be so boring watching me do this for an entire year. Like, seriously? How are you guys going to manage that? Oh, wow, the year's already over. That was quick. If anybody has ever actually had issues falling off that, the key is just to jump earlier than you think you would. The momentum will usually carry you. If you do it right at the end, then your momentum will typically carry you too far, and then you'll fall as a result. My reward is rupees! Hooray! Lots and lots of rupees. I didn't realize it the other day, too. When you get to Windfall Island, the guy that sells bombs, the initial one that sells them at, like, an insanely expensive price, when you get there later after the pirates have kidnapped him, there's, like, a bunch of characters. Or a bunch of characters. There's a bunch of barrels in there, and if you break the barrels open, they actually do have, like, a pretty decent amount of green rupees all over the place in them. Kind of an interesting fact to show, like, he was incredibly rich. They obviously can't give you all that money because it would be an insane amount, but it's still funny. That's true. Smash Ultimate is out now. Man, all that music from Castlevania that they put in the game for Simon Belmont, oh, it was wonderful. There we go. Was busy at brightening the screen on my iPad so I could actually see the chat a little bit better. So up we go to the tippy top. What were you doing with Nico? You're the one that sent me down there to hang out with him. You know she's cool because she wears a red scarf like Falco does. There's the bed. Over there, by that window. There's more birds. Yeah. Gotta love those seagulls always hanging out with my sister. Bird poop all over that stuff. Do 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 do. That's not actually the music it played, but I just like that. He's just like, well, this is the situation I've... That's where you hear, like, the record scratch, like, yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. It's perfect for it. We pirates this. No, you don't. We're pros. Yeah, I'm sure you are. There's the denial. There's the anger. There's the very reluctant acceptance. We skipped a couple stages of grief, but since I counted down from 3, we couldn't go through them all. Well, had he not lost his sword, somehow, and fallen into the water, it would have been actually pretty close to where... Like, that's pretty much the end of the Forsaken Fortress right there, at least your first run through it. Of course, you would have had to go back down for the Piece of Heart anyway, so, you know... It's whatever. At least they don't stick pieces of heart in the dungeons like they do in Twilight Princess, like some of the other dungeons like they do in Twilight Princess. And it's also not 5 heart pieces for a dang heart container. I know you're trying to stuff more into the game, and you clearly needed to with the vast expanses of nothing, but there's better ways to do it, man. That's probably why it works so much better in Breath of the Wild, is because you could, like, pick up items that you would use to make more, outfits. Since you had all of 3 in Twilight Princess with just the regular, the Zora armor, and then the magic armor that you didn't even need for anything. I'm only gonna let myself not get caught long enough to get the roops, the 20 roops. Alright, catch me if you can, suckers. Why Link doesn't just, you know, like, run through the door, I don't know. That shot of his teeth just then. His teeth definitely met that gravel, or dirt, or whatever it is in here. Magic Pot, give me your rupees. Thank you, Magic Pot. You never fail to disappoint me. Alright. I do like the idea that this was basically somebody who had previously been thrown in there, just their way of tunneling out, basically. Well, we're not going to need it, but you know what, let's grab the map anyway. This is a pretty dang easy dungeon. You can view it, yeah. You got the map, you can use it to see things. What we really want is this. Give me that piece of heart. Beautiful. And I'm just gonna let them catch me here. It's easier to just let them catch you and just send you back to the higher up area than have to loop back around through it. Plus the magic pot has returned. It is brought to us yet again. A question of what its magical item will be. Hey, it's not as much, but it's still good. At least when they're throwing you in jail, they're throwing you in jail where you can get rich. Cotton burned, painful. Yeah, yet it doesn't count as you losing any like hearts or anything like that. And of course, for anybody that did the rope swinging game, which you would have had to, you'll find that the rope swinging here is insanely easier because your target that you're landing on is much, much larger than the tiny little wood platforms. Like, unless you're not, as long as you're not swinging like sideways or something, you pretty much guaranteed to make it. Yeah, you're supposed to use the shield. What? 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 Alright, dude, whatever. I seriously have no idea how that happened. Thank you for the 100 bits of what? Also good to know the cheers still work. That's good. Are you serious, though? Like... See, when I was playing this on my other file, I was watching NCS play through Twilight Princess, and he got to the point where he was doing like the game where you like use a cannon to launch yourself up from Lake Hylia, and then you fly down with a Kuko and try to land on the platform, and the first time he did it, he just jumped off without the Kuko, and that's what it reminded me of. I was trying to pick this up so I could throw it at the dude. Hi. Because it's funny. Ow. Can I pick one of these up, please? Thank you. I know you can spin attack with these. There we go. Get out of here. I think it actually did... Is that it down there in the very corner? Can you actually see it? That's kind of cool. Alright, so those lights are taken care of, and it will show it on my map. Unfortunately, I don't have the gamepad ability to capture that as well. And yeah, I could hit A and she'd give you advice, like, oh, maybe you can... The other thing that it actually wants you to do, I guess this is in case the stick falls off the side or something, is you can just block it with your shield and then take it away from him. You want it back? Well, you can't have it back. It feels like it was almost faster to hit him with normal strikes than it was the spin attack, which is kind of odd. Well, I will sacrifice this stick to the stick gods. Fabulous. So yeah, the only search... Really, the only one you have to actually kill, I think, is this one, because it's on the spot you have to sidle across the wall, or sidle, or whatever it is. Or citadel. Or Citadark Isle. But that's the only one I think that you actually have to get rid of. I think the other two you can do without. And if I remember right, when you come back here the second time, all the searchlights are gone anyway, so... Plus, you'll have your sword, of course, so it will, instead of capturing it, it'll send out little mini blinds to try and deter you. But, of course, they die in one hit, so you can just absolutely destroy them. But since we'll, you know what, I'll be nice and I'll do it the legit way, and I'll knock out all 3 of the searchlights. Thanks. As people will constantly tell you, what wins championship titles? Defense, not offense, defense. Yeah, no, I know you're hurting, Link. You'll be alright, though. It says it doesn't, like, drop. It doesn't drop hearts, but I wonder if the ones that are, like, normally there towards the end of this area are, Oh, and if you saw that chest, it was just the compass. Don't worry about it. There's, like, a spot where you have to sidle across, again, where the searchlight usually is. But there's normally hearts there, so I wonder if the hearts that normally stay there are still, in fact, there. Not sure. And we'll just keep going until... Yep. They give you a lot of leniency on this thing. Wait for you to get your pork butt out of the way. Freaking mouse almost knocked me out of the barrel there. But we're good. I wonder if people didn't like this just because it was a stealth section or just because they kept getting caught and didn't know where to go. Because I feel like if you know where to go, this honestly does not take that long. Heavy breathing. That would actually be really funny. Add like an additional element to it. And we're good. At this point, we're pretty much done with the stealth. Now all I have to do is just actually get to the end of this thing. Oops, there we go. What's really weird is what direction you have to hold in order to sidle across the wall actually depends on how the camera is facing. So if I make the camera facing this way, I have to hold forward rather than left. It's very strange. So if you get a kind of an awkward angle somewhere in between a compass direction, yeah, the hearts aren't here anymore. Oh well. Then you kind of have to figure out what exactly is going to work. Alright, there we go, we're good. Now give me my sword back. I want my sword, man. Yeah, like I'm gonna stand there and let you hit me. I don't think so. I want my sword back. Take care not to drop it again. Because it was totally your fault that you dropped it. Defeated by your own blade. Apparently he didn't appreciate that because he didn't drop anything. I wonder if I can throw it over the edge here. Oh, you totally can throw it off the edge. Oh, you actually can. Oh, that's a shame. I will say one of the things I don't like about this game in particular, though, after having replayed it a couple times, is I don't like the fact that you getting the Master Sword and also powering it up doesn't increase damage each time that you get like a new weapon or power it up. Like in Twilight Princess, when you get the Master Sword, like you can tell there's a distinct difference in how many hits enemies take. And bird! Stab it in the leg! Link, what are you doing? Jeez, whatever. Starlo, what is up? Welcome to Wind Waker HD. Welcome to Bird, starring Bird. Gee, I forgot how fat Ganondorf was in this game. Like, holy cow. Bye, Link. We'll miss you. Also, if you've not played the HD version and you have a Wii U and would like to get it, I'm pretty sure it goes for, like, a substantially low amount now. I want to say it's, like, $15. I think I got it at $20, but I think it decreased again to $15. Like, an improved GameCube game at $15? That's pretty dang awesome, actually. Imagine if there was like an HD of Path of Radiance or something. Not that I would ever wish that, because my copy is worth a lot. I don't want them releasing that game until right after I sell my copy. Because Path of Radiance, at least the animation for the fight graphics, has not aged well. Have you come to your senses yet? Well, apparently not, because there's a boat talking to me. I'm not your enemy, despite the fact I'm constantly glaring at you because these things etched into my wood, because they're apparently supposed to resemble eyebrows, but they just make me look really angry. His name is Ganondorf. We'll just call him Dorf for short. Dude, Link's not gonna care if he's like some evil dude. The person that kidnapped your sister, he was very evil. Well, yeah, most people that kidnap young girls are not generally very nice, so I don't feel like that would change your opinion. It's like, oh, he's evil, well now I don't want to rescue them. If anything, that would make you want to rescue them more, not less. So yeah, despite laughing at me for seeing a talking boat and freaking out, somebody's got to swallow their pride and be humble enough to realize they have no frickin' sail. Alright. Windfall Island. It's a place that has things. Isn't that wonderful? Hi. Oops. I'm not that desperate. What, 3 pixels this time, but a little worried about one of them. 200 a minute? Or if you do it in under 200. It's a slightly stupid pig. What? He's the slightly stupid pig? Alright, whatever. How do you know which one is the stupid pig? I have no idea. I have a feeling with how this one's running around, it might just be this one. No, I don't want to talk to you. Let's try this one. It's even stupider. What? It's even stupider? You mean more stupid, right? Stupider. So it's not that one. Oh wait, there are 3. They're all in this area, because there's the one I just gave him, there's this one, and then there's this one down here. Like, how do I know which one's the dumbass here? That one looked like it was just angry, so I'm gonna go with the stupid one, I guess. This one. I'm gonna assume this one's the stupid one. Hey, there we go. So yeah, you can talk to this guy if you're low on money, and he'll give you 20 rupees for doing that. If you have enough to buy the sale as is, which it's 80 rupees, he will not offer that to you. So if you want to make a little extra money for anything else you want to do while you're here besides getting the sale, that would be one of the first things you want to do. And do that before picking up like all the blue rupees around here, because then you might have too much money and not be able to do it. So, let's go free Tingle. This was his first appearance in The Legend of Zelda. Most people will tell you incorrectly. No, he was in Majora's Mask before this game. I don't know why people think this is Tingle's debut was in Wind Waker. Probably because Majora's Mask for the longest time was universally hated. Well, not universally, but most people hated it. And so as a result, they never played it. Despite the fact you could run into Tingle pretty early in the game. Oh god, don't talk about Miiverse. That makes me sad. I was forgetting something important. Yeah, where the door was, so you can get away from me. So yeah, that'll tell you where to find Tingle Island. It's 2 to the west from here on the map. Yay, a dead feature. I know, that's kind of sad. I never used Miiverse in Wind Waker HD, but, you know, still a shame. You can now send letters and Tingle Thoughts using Miiverse. Set your Tingle blotter to YXR to send a letter of your own. Yada da da da. Settings. Yeah, I'm going to not allow any. And we're gonna go back to the actual game, to the meat and potatoes. I need to stop saying that. I'm gonna end up being like super hungry in a couple hours if I keep doing that, or well, even quicker than I would normally. Actually, there's no reason to do this, because normally this is the Picto box, and there's nothing in there anymore. The chest will already be open, it's not even replaced with money or anything, which is a shame. It would be nice if it was. But you do have to still free Tingle in order to be able to purchase the sale. Just walked off the edge there. I don't think there's any pots out here. No, it does not appear there is. There's one here. And I know there's... No, I didn't want to talk to you. Because you will want more money than just for the sale if you want to try to get more stuff here at the start. So yeah, now he'll tell you a little thing and be like, well, you purchased that, it's my only heirloom. That's 80 rupees now. I could have sworn it was 70 whenever I used to play this a lot, but... apparently it's 80. Alright, so let's do some other stuff real quick. Hi. Yeah, talk to her again. We need to talk. You know, usually it's the teacher saying that, not the child. Sorry. Almost got something stuck in my glasses again. Me... yeah, sure, I'll be nice. You're gonna ask me to do it because you don't think they'll bully a boy their own age? Yeah, I hate to tell you that, but, usually kids will bully people their own age, typically, instead of someone older. Not to be tardy, right? Yeah. Because the word tardy is never used anywhere except for school. Like, if somebody shows up to work late, they don't say, like, hey, man, this is the third time you've been tardy. No, they'll say, like, hey, man, this is the third time you've been late. Tardy. Alright, so let's start with the one that's closest nearby, which is... Because apparently these are all boys, but I swear this one's a girl. It sounds like a girl. Granted, you know, when you're that young, you kind of still have a very high-pitched voice, boy or girl, but... Come here, you. Camera? Camera, you're okay. You're fine. It's fine. Gotcha. You're awesome. You're doing some kind of weird dance. There's Ivan right there. There's the captain himself. Yeah! I can't even do that high-pitched yeah anymore. Also doesn't help I've been streaming for like 4 hours, so my voice is now shot. But if you've ever heard me like do that on a stream or anything like that, that yeah, this is what it's from. It's from this kid getting knocked out of the tree and going, yeah! No, I don't want to talk to you. You cheater. If it's hide and seek, you can't distract the person seeking after you've been caught. Alright. Third one's behind the grave here. Ah, yeah, this is the guy that looks like Marky Dubois from Backyard Baseball. Looks like a younger version of that. Find it hilarious they're given a head start. Like, you're not given a head start after somebody's caught you in hide and seek and then has to actually catch you. That's the real trick to hide and seek, is you need a good hiding place, but it's got to be also one you can run away from easily if they're trying to catch you. And the fourth and final one, which usually this is the one that takes people the longest to find. What? Dude, not again. Get back up there. There you go. No, it's... I just saw it, dude. You can do this. You can do it. There you go. Atta boy. You really don't have your priorities straight, man. When it's time to go save your sister, you can sidle against anything. But, man, if I need you to go find some kids and hide and seek, you just won't do it. And there's Brock from Pokemon. What the? You're just going back and forth. You just want me to talk to those two girls. That's all it is. I'm still a kid. I still think girls are icky, just like you. I don't want to talk to them. Well, Link is, anyway. I don't know, I'd still feel like, in a way, 23 is... I still feel like a kid, in a way. Also, thanks to the life refill. I appreciate that. So that's not the end of this little quest here that they've got for you. So they said they wanted you to go and apologize. So now if you go and do... she'll give you a purple rupee. And then after you leave... we'll talk about giving her a present. What you call them, joy pendants? Oh my god, when I was playing this the other day, I kid you not, I went to the auction, and somebody bought, like, the joy pendant that they did for over 200 rupees. Like, seriously, 200 rupees for a joy pendant. Like, whoever did that, you need to cut back down on the drugs, because, seriously. 200 rupees for something that's worth about maybe 5 to 10. So there's a joy pendant. They said it was in a tree somewhere, so it's just next to one in the bomb shop. And then they tell you, hey, we hid it in there. But they can't give it away, because that ain't how killer bees operate, man. the teacher at the auction. No, it was Garrickson, the Mario-esque dude. I'll show him as we go by, because I should see him while I'm going back up here. This dude right here, he was the one that bought it. Oops, that's not the right door. But I don't think the teacher actually can show up at the auction. I don't think she's one of the people that can. Oh, right, you actually have to, like... There you go. It's a joy pendant! And because it doesn't fit the Killer Bee style, I'm the one that gets the reward instead! Red rupee. So if you just do that alone, you get a piece of heart and 70 rupees. Like, for this early in the game, that's pretty good, all things considered. Alright, so anything else we can do before the one thing I really want to avoid doing? I'm trying to think. I don't think there is, unfortunately. Which means we're stuck doing it. Now, the last time I played this, I got extremely lucky, and I got both the prizes here in like 3 tries. Maybe 4 tries, but I do not expect the same luck here today. So you pay 10 rupees, and you're given 24 bombs, and you have to sink, a la Battleship, 3 squids, which are basically a ship that's 4 long, 2 long, and 3 long each. And it's just L to move and A to fire, and if you can do it in the required shots, then you are given the prize. Then if you can do it in 20 or less, you're also given the prize. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of luck to actually be able to hit anything here. And yeah, it doesn't matter what I do here. So unfortunately this game, well, no, pretty much, it does boil down to luck. Like, you know, there can be some skill involved, like don't fire 2 right next to each other, you like leave a 1 block gap, but ultimately it's basically you just either get lucky or you don't. That's not what I was trying to do. Alright. And yeah, there's no way I can win now. Which is why, of course, I missed it by 1. Also, I don't know why someone is mowing the lawn at 5:30 because it's still extremely hot outside, but they are doing it, and they are proud. Okay, there's the 2 block. It's not even like that they're more likely to appear in some places than others. I've got a slight edge here because it's 4 long, so if there's any spot, like right here, it can't be in here because there's no spot that's got 4 left. And yeah, there's nothing else I can do. So, let's see, it's gotta been in here, right? Nope. So, unfortunately, you'll probably spend most of your money just praying you get lucky here. There's the 4. Alright, round however many of praying that I get lucky. Yeah, I got 2 of them, but unfortunately I need all 3. Even if I could just get the first one of these, I'd be satisfied for right now. Oh, come on. That's not what I was trying to do. It's gonna be there. Alright. Well, we got it. Well, it actually gave me both the prizes since I got under 20 and also beat it for the first time. That would be nice if they did, but they probably won't. The piece of heart's really what I wanted, so... Collect the 3 so far, get one more. Yes! Okay, it does give you both at once. Excellent! Alright, that wasn't too bad then. If I'd had to do it twice, that really would have sucked. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, so we got the sale, we did the side quest with the killer bees. You actually can't do the thing with Lenzo yet with the pictograph dude, it's gotta be when you come back later. Can't do the auction at night right now, because you can't change between day and night. Not with the song, but just, like, in general, it won't even go by naturally at this point. You might be able to do this woman's side quest. I am curious, does it actually have the correct picture on here? Let me take a look at the album. A bird, a moon, and a her. Alright, let's try it. Alright. Let's show you this. This is a black and white pictograph. Well, you don't have to, there we go. Does it let me make 100% sure that it actually does, yeah, I'm not sure why those are in, black and white, and the other ones aren't, because it's supposed to automatically start you with... I'm just gonna let that play it for a second, because I can tell the lawnmower's not even moving right now. Feel free to leave at any time. Thanks. My God. But yeah, New Game Plus. Okay, that would actually make sense of why I would do that. I swear you didn't have to get the color pictograph at all, though. Like, once you got the Pictobox naturally, it just, like, automatically gave you the color, and it was the pictograph itself that didn't, that it didn't give you, that you actually had to go into the thing and get it. So she gives you a treasure chart, and I think that does actually lead you to a piece of heart, but that should be the only other thing we can do at Windfall for right now. I think. Oh, right, he's back down in the thing. I'm used to him being over here now. I wonder if that dude will let me catch another pig again, since I'm kind of low-ish on money. Yeah, no. You have to wait another in-game day before he'll let you do that. Alright. Well, I'd be doing an Ultimate Let's Play. Maybe I still have to technically do one for Smash U if I decide to keep doing another one. Yeah, we know. I can explain how sailing works and probably do it faster. We know. And because you can't change the wind at this point, because you obviously don't have the game's instrument, the Wind Waker, of which it is named after, it will automatically point you in the right direction. So you guys can't see the map, but I can see it. So the way it works is you put away your sail with B, you make it go with A, ZR to jump. You'll be given other commands later, such as the Wind Waker, being able to change the direction, being able to use bombs, being able to use the grappling hook as a device to fish things out from the sea. You can turn left and right. It's about as bare bones as you could expect. It's very, very basic and very, very simple. And honestly, that's the way it needs to be. The bottom will obviously tell you the compass direction you're going and the time of day. They give you little mini games to play as well, like this one right here where you're collecting rupees. Gives you something to do. But what I want to do is go over to this island over here, because at the start of the game, until they actually let you free, which takes a while, and it's very annoying that it does, it won't let you go outside of, like, the set of squares. Like, it wants me to go to Dragon Roost, which is to the right from Windfall. So it will only let me be on Windfall, Dragon Roost, and the square in between, which is this one. If you go outside of that boundary, it will tell you, hey, you're going the wrong way. And so as a result, you're not able to leave those squares. But you can do anything inside of those squares, such as this. So you can pick up the treasure chart here, and there actually is something on the island as well that we can pick up. Yeah, but you do need a grappling hook to use the treasure charts, so obviously I'm not going to be doing any of those right now. What I am going to be doing is telling a lawnmower to shut up. It's being very obnoxious. No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to you! You already gave me what you were supposed to. So if you don't have the sail out, you can cruise with ZR, and the cruising is actually a lot faster than it used to be. There's no momentum build-up. Now, the one thing we can't do that normally you would do here is I cannot do the thing where you find the fish in the sea and then give it bait in order for it to give you the map to whatever quadrant you're on, or whatever tile you're on, whatever you want to call it, and then some information about it as well. The reason being is that cutscene does not activate until after you finish the Dragon Roost Island dungeon. So, he will not be here right now. You'll have to come back and get him later. Speaking of things that should come back later, as in not right now, and another collectible with the Chew Jelly. You can trade it in for red potion. So depending on what color ball these things are, when you hit them, will actually dictate what type of thing you get. If you hit them while they're red, they'll typically give you hearts. If it's blue or green, whatever you want to call that, it will typically give you money. And if you hit it while it's yellow, it will typically give you the drop of whatever enemy drop that is. So in this case, the Chew Jelly. But if it was like one of the birds, it would give you the golden plumes. You get the idea. Away with you, tree. So I'll grab some of the items here and there, but I'm not big on potions. I'm more of the fairy / granny soup kind of guy. But the good news is that will give us 4 hearts going into the dungeon rather than 3. And really, the dungeon's not hard in terms of damage dealing, so I'm not too worried about it anyway, but might as well grab it. The Legend of Lawnmower, cut the grass noisemaker. Right? The best part is, it can't even be like, oh, I didn't know you were streaming. Like, literally, for anybody who does not know this, because I have to live with my folks, because they're not in great mental health or physical health, mostly the former, I will have to tell them each time I'm streaming, like, listen, you've got 20 minutes to make as much noise as you want, and after that, it needs to stop. Shut it down. And the best part is, since it's Labor Day weekend, not only could he have done it also tomorrow, he could have done it Monday as well. Just chose not to. Had to do it right now. Also, here's Beetle's shop over here. At this point, he's just going to have the same stuff that he did prior. He's just going to have, like, the Huey pears and the bait, which you should not have used any at this point, so don't worry about it. Another thing you'll find out here pretty often in the Great Sea is these little pirate lookout, whatever they're supposed to be. And by climbing up here, there's usually some goodies you can pick up. This one doesn't have any cannons on it, so it won't be firing at me. But I wouldn't be able to counteract it anyway. Bye! Despite the fact I got up here somehow, can't swim. So yeah, by defeating all the enemies, you can get a treasure. And I know by keeping them on the pedestal, there's a chance I could have gotten more joy pendants. I'm not worried about it. So yeah, typically in defeating these, they're usually going to give you like little small rupee amounts, 10, 20 rupees, give or take. Some might have 50. If they're really hard enemies, they might give you 100, but typically you're looking at 10 to 20 range. So with that done, let's head to Dragon Roost. See, in some sense it is nice to be able to just kind of like hang back. Ooh, there's a yellow rupee there if it'll let me get it before it gives me the cutscene for Dragon Roost. Yeah! It's nice to be able to like relax and stretch when it's a small amount. Like, I only moved 2 tiles here. I'm not going to do that minigame. I only moved 2 tiles here, so it's not that big a deal. Like, you know, take a second to stretch, relax, you know, adjust in your chair as need be. And by the time you're done doing all that, you're there. Like, you know, we're already there. But if it's all the way across the map, a little bit longer. Alright, it cut out to me. I was gonna let Dragon Reef's Island music play for a little bit there, because I know it's like one of the most beloved, songs in this game, and that's completely understandable. Again, the music in this game is great. The lawnmower, however, can kindly screw off. You don't have to mow the same spot of the lawn 5 times. There's no need to. The grass does not grow back that quickly. If you're hearing that kind of like noise that sounds like he's mowing the edge of the wall, that's exactly what he's doing. So now you are given the almighty Wind Waker. Business magical conductor's plan, you can borrow the power of the gods. Use art to conduct. You obviously have to have the songs, but you can conduct in 3/4, 4/4, or 6/4 time. We'll be working on that later, but for now, that is not an issue until we have beaten the dungeon. So they'll have you do a little bit of a puzzle here with the bomb flowers. It's weird, because you'd think, like, with all the puzzles they do with the bomb flowers in this dungeon, you'd be like, oh, they're going to give you bombs for real. That's kind of what they did in Dodongo's Cavern, right? But no, that's not what you get here for your dungeon item. It really does feel like it would be, though. But they give you a nice little amount of money for being able to complete that. So, like, again, we spent most of our money. We've already pretty much built back up to... I mean, we're going to have at least 160-ish by the time we get in there. And then they give you a mail sorting game that gives you a ton of, gives you a ton of money from doing that. Don't ask how that works. I didn't invent gravity. Or they give you the Wind Waker and you have to go through a dungeon for use. Part of me thinks it's just like the namesake of the game. They want to try to give it to you early. You don't get the Ocarina of Time super early, but you do get the Fairy Ocarina pretty early. But maybe it's just kind of to get you to explore a little bit. Because if you think about it, if they gave you the Wind Waker after, like when you went back to King of Red Lions, and he'd be like, oh, well, there's, you know, the wind's blowing the wrong way and we can't change direction. Here's the Wind Waker, but it has no power because I don't know any songs for it. Then you would probably, like, just be like, oh, well, because they also tell you in the cutscene after you've beaten it, Medley and Kamali, or whatever his name is, tell you, like, oh, there's this little temple back here that's, you know, that people used to pray to. It has, like, a mysterious song on it. So if you had that and the Wind Waker, you're, like, given back to back, you'd be like, okay, I clearly need to go here. So maybe they would have you explore a little bit more if they give you one of those hints, but not both. It's a shame you can't go back to Windfall at this current point in the game, because then you could just get the Song of Passing right now, because there's not a lot of songs in the game that you conduct with the Wind Waker. So yes, he's busy having to try to figure out how to calm Valoo down, because the younger people that don't have wings have to go visit him to get a scale, but he's angry right now. And so if they don't fix it, then they'll never be able to get wings. They will get a lawnmower, however. Will you meet my son? Sure. Okay, now this is something I never got story-wise. So he wants to try to, like, tell his son to be courageous and, you know, a strong boy. But instead, you're given the delivery bag. He tells you to go talk to the attendant Medley. Medley gives you a letter written by his dad to give to his son rather than just, I don't know, maybe talking to him? Like, maybe Rito aren't supposed to show as much emotion, but that doesn't make much sense now, does it? Hi, Medley. Yeah, I kind of ran past it there, but yeah, her dialogue changes there. Normally she's like, oh, you really do have green clothes, but now she's like, oh, you really do have blue clothes with a crawfish on them. You accepted Father's letter. Oh, well, that's nice. Less nice is the sound of lawnmowers! I am not going to miss that in a year's time. I'm not going to lie. Like, really, really not going to miss the sound of a lawnmower going constantly, like 3 to 4 times a week. Definitely not going to miss that. Alright, so before doing that, you talk to this dude and he'll give you some part-time work. So you have to match the seal in the envelope with the same icon on the shelf and throw the letter on the shelf. Very simple. Use the L to move and A to throw the letter. So you have to sort at least 10 letters before time runs out. They give you plenty of time to sort 10 letters. So really, you could do this at a snail's pace. Like, haven't even used up half the time and I've already gotten to 10 with no issue. But the better you do, the more money you will earn from doing this, so... $29. See? Not hard. So he'll give you a rupee for every 2 letters, so you get 14. And then you talk to him again. And he'll up it to 20. Oops. Hit the button too early there. There's 20, no problem. Messed up that one throw, but, you know, still no issue. So you get 1 rupee per letter, so he gives you 28. Talk to him a third time to do it. He'll ask if you can sort 25 letters or more, your salary will really jump. It's like pretty decent. 30 letters. You have amazing coordination. Seriously, I'm stupefied, incredulous. We veterans do this all day long. Even we have a hard time reaching that amount. Gotta give you money. Got to. 3 rupees per letter comes to 90 rupees. How does that sound? Yeah. So if you do this as well, he'll say, thanks for looking up. Our new helpers just arrived. Maybe you can give some advice next time you come by. So yeah, they give you... At minimum, if you do the minimum of 25, you're getting 75 rupees from that last round alone. Plus whatever you put on top of that, which is probably another, you know, like 40-ish. Probably a little bit higher than 40-ish. So, like, pretty good amount of money there. But for the time being, let's actually do what the story told us to do. And go meet with Kamali. Hello. You should be impressed, Prince. You're the only person that has an actual house in this entire area that we can see. Here you go. A letter from my father. Yeah, he was too lazy to come in and just talk to you. Not sure why. Poking your nose in other people's business. You're nosy, aren't you? Saying you can calm Blue down, that's a big fat lie. It's easy to say you can do anything. Bragging doesn't cost a thing. I like this kid. Now, if only people that were, like, about twice to 3 times my age could also realize that. In a court of law, evidence is everything, after all. So at this point, you're pretty much just gonna skip straight over to doing what Medley told you to do. This is actually the wrong way to go. You have to meet her down here. Because she will have mentioned something akin to, would you meet me by the entrance to Dragon Roost Cavern? Hi. So yeah, boulders block the springs, so that's why there's no water here. You'll tell about Kamali. So apparently his grandmother was her attendant, or she was the attendant to her. So now she's kind of the successor to that. So she wants to go to the shrine and try and fix things. And her wings are still underdeveloped. They're not adult wings because, you know, she's not an adult. So obviously it would make sense. So she needs a little bit of help actually making it across. So you just wait for the wind to blow the right direction. Really would have been a good opportunity to use the Rin's Requiem, which would have changed the wind direction, and then you could have just done that, but, you know, why give it to Twirl on the Wind Waker when you could just do this? So yeah, she can also understand Valoo. If this is your first time playing, whenever Valoo actually talks to you, along with some other characters, they'll speak in Ancient Hyrule or Old Hyrule or the Ancient Tongue. They'll call it a couple of things, but you actually can't understand them. But on subsequent playthroughs, such as this one, because it's a New Game Plus file, you actually will be able to understand them. So now let's fix the spring by getting some water. Yeah, thanks for the present, Dad. Couldn't go without saying that. And it's not really a "is this okay, mommy" face or "and this is this okay, mommy" face, but it's definitely a "thanks for the present, Dad." I will gladly take the bottle, that's for sure. There we go. It usually tries to bounce off, so just throw it late to where it explodes before it actually hits the ground, because if it hits the water, it's going to just disappear. But with that, the spring's back to normal, and it looks kind of gross because it's got all these little black floaty things in it. Because of all the ash and soot. But it does its required purpose, which is to get us across. Oh, they're actually... Oh, no, they are in there. Those little black dots. They're nasty looking. The second shot's kind of hard to make just because of the angle you have to throw it at. Because they don't give you a lot of time to react here. And that's usually the easy thing to do, is to overthrow it like that. There we go. Excellent. And like that, ladies and gentlemen, first dungeon of the game. First real one, anyway. Not going to count Dragon Roost, or not Dragon Roost. I'm not going to count Forsaken Fortress in that regard. Sure, it's got a map and a compass, but I feel like this... Really, in order to beat that dungeon, you have to have done it both times, because there's no boss fight the first time you go through. The second time there is. So it's a little bit more, feels more like a dungeon after doing it the second time. Alright, there's those guys gone. And of course, because it's Dungeon 1, they have to give you your obligatory basic Zelda puzzle of light the torches. I do feel like this is a phenomenal introductory dungeon, though. Because, again, wouldn't really count the Forsaken Fortress in that, and even if I did, I would say that one's a quite poor one, actually. This is a good idea to get you of how... like, used to the dungeons and how they're going to work. Because Wind Waker, by and large, hero mode or not, is a pretty easy game. It's like one of the easier Zelda games in terms of difficulty. It's a lot more exploration, adventure, more so than puzzle, getting lost, getting stuck. Unlike its predecessors and even some of its successors as well. So that being said, let's continue on our merry adventure here. There's some stuff you could fight, but I'm just going to ignore it. That was weird, like the little doo-doo-doo, like the little you solved a puzzle noise was a little bit late there. Just was wondering what was going on. This is probably the map. There are not pieces of heart in these dungeons like there is in Twilight Princess. There are treasure charts, and some of them will lead to pieces of heart, so you probably should pick up every treasure chest, and if possible. One moment. I know you're there. Like I'm gonna fall for that old trick. What do I look like, Nintendo Capri Sun? Key. Key. Every time I see a key, it just reminds me of like the little Luigi's Mansion, like da 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 da. Can't not hear it, man. How many of those do we have now? Those chew jellies. We already have 10. Jeez. Alright, keep moving on. That was a bad throw. Let's try that again. Then again, I'm not sure if the pots work on this. I know the rocks do, because that's usually what I use. No, I'm just a bad throw, apparently. Alright. Dude! Dude! Are you an idiot? Dude! You've got to be kidding me. I have to go back in and reset all this crap that you have to throw at this because you don't have a projectile that you... Maybe you can hit it with your sword, I don't know. Dude, do not fall off of there. What are you doing? Also, camera, what are you doing? There we go. Good grief. It's not that hard. I did it first try last time I did that little section. That is true, at least the rocks respawn, but man, that was ridiculous. He is now smashing his shoes against the ground, letting people know that he is asserting his dominance. If by asserting your dominance you mean proving that you have the least amount of IQ, then I would agree. Away with you. Sure, I'll take a roop. That nice juicy roop. I don't think I needed this for anything else, did I? Pretty sure I didn't. You can't get over there yet. There's no grappling hook. You can burn that open if you wanted, I guess, but... And now we're outside. I remember this used to be like a transition thing that you actually did every time you went in or out in the GameCube version, but since it can probably support more area now, as I'm busy readjusting because my foot is gone completely numb. In the drink with you. Aw, he doesn't actually, like, fall all the way down there. That's disappointing. I was really hoping he was going to. What? I shielded you. Dude, I shielded you. I was trying to keep him on the thing so I could get a gold feather from him, but apparently that wasn't going to fly. Oh, you're not going to make that, dude. Link's taking that very much in stride, that there was lava flying out right past his head. Like, huh, so that's what that does. That looks like something that you would have to, like, interact with in Super Mario Sunshine or even Mario 64, that little thing. Like, try to jump into it like it's a painting. You know how, like, you got that one spot in a Tall Mountain where you actually jump into it like it's a painting and it takes you to a secret slide? Looks like one of those areas. Just something you would interact with to be able to take you to a new area. Alright, back in we go. This is like an insanely... This is a puzzle that looks really hard, but it's actually really easy. You just pull out the block on the left in the center. And there you go, you're done. Unfortunately, you have to talk to the King of Red Lions here, who apparently now has the ability to steal Tetra's little rock that she can communicate with you with. Good grammar there. And yes, he is right. If you drop bait towards the mice, they'll give you like a little bit of an idea of what to do next or where to go next. Oh, I missed. Okay, don't miss now. Actually, line yourself up. There you go. That's much better. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, don't be hoping for the dungeon item in this one. It's given to you by Medley, so it's going to be the compass. Plus, it was kind of just out in the open, wasn't it? You didn't really have to fight for that one very hard. The one you actually had to fight for, of course, is your key. It's weird not hitting the A button to actually climb like you would in Ocarina. It just naturally does it if you just hold up while you're next to a block. Ow. That probably hurt. Thanks for the key, sucker. And there goes the golden feather. Those are really hard to get at this point in the game just because of how hard it is to keep those birds up on the platform. There's some enemies that drop them in the next dungeon, though, that are very easy to farm there. Alright, that's that taken care of. Gimme, gimme, gimme! Ah, it's a joy pendant. Well, that's a disappointment. Like, joy pendants are another thing that's incredibly easy to farm, so every time you see one, you're like, oh, it's just one of those. Okay, yeah, I don't need these for anything else. I love how the torches look in this game, though. They look phenomenal. Wait. There we go. These serve as your start, end, and halfway markers throughout the dungeon. The first one will be green, the second blue, and the third kind of a reddish-orange. So you can use them to warp. So if you want to go back to get something after you've gotten the dungeon item, it's an easier way to do so. Those would probably normally be hearts, I'm guessing. But we don't need no hearts. We're in hero mode, suckers! do want to make sure you kill all the enemies in this room, and a lot of them will hide in pots. Like so. Ow. Really, as long as you pick up their big drop if one of those little orb things spawns, then you should be alright. There should have been a stick somewhere. Oh, wait, I bet I know where it is. Oh, no, it's right there. So yeah, that's why you have to kill all the enemies, is otherwise the doors won't open. And I believe this is actually just for a treasure chest. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Also helps if you're having trouble getting rid of those sticks or whatever, you can just hit R, because R normally pulls out a shield, and so you'll just drop it automatically. I've been doing that a lot more recently for the bombs in Ocarina of Time, because in this game, that's how you drop them. Normally you can drop them with A as long as you're not moving, but in this game you'll throw them even if you aren't moving. So I've gotten so used to hitting the triggers rather than the A button for those. And if I recall correctly, this should have a joy pendant inside of it. Or we could just jump down here, go back up the ladder, go all the way around, and then find out. Sure. What is with you and jumping off cliffs today, Link? You okay? Yep, there we go. And most of the collectibles, almost all the collectibles, people will want like a decent amount of them. They'll want 10 or 20 for something. Not sure what happened there. That was weird. Let's try that again without that happening. There we go. The reason you put this back is because Link will often backflip and then land on the lava patch. So if you put one right in the center, it gives you something to land on in case. And then obviously you just use one here, and you wait. This also feels like something that they would have done in Super Mario Sunshine if they'd had the capability to. Which they could have with Flood, but it would have made like really awkward little deals. So, couldn't really work that well. So that gives you the pot that'll warp you to the end of the dungeon, because the end of the dungeon is actually right there, but you don't have the boss key or the means of even getting there if you did have it. So you still got a bit of ways to go. And there's Blue. Clearly still upset. Maybe he just needs a Happy Meal. Oh, I should have said that. Now I'm hungry. No! We might end the stream for today after I'm done with this. This dungeon, that is. Yeah, I'm just gonna quit the dungeon halfway through. That totally won't throw me off at a later point. I'm gonna have to grab these joy pendants before this dude starts attacking me, because I do want to get those. Dude, I can't see what I'm doing! Frickin' camera. Thanks for killing me, because the camera wouldn't cooperate. All it had to do was not go into that one rock, and sure enough, that's exactly what it did. Thanks, Mario 64. What would we do without you? Thanks, Trash Bag. What would we do without you? Not referring to Mario 64, referring to the trash bag that someone is now refilling. Despite the fact that I took out the trash yesterday and refilled all the bags, so they should all be empty. Though now that I think about it, whenever they were out for 3 weeks, because, yeah, I'll tell the story in Bioshock Infinite in the next episode that comes up. I don't know why I'm looking for the grappling hook. I don't have it. I literally decided to forego a vacation for 3 weeks for my own peace of mind that would have been overseas in Europe and would not have had to pay anything for it aside from, like, things that I would want to buy myself there. And we have, like, a little cart that we have to use in order to move the trash once it's out of the house and in the garage to the actual dumpster, because it's like a block and a half away. I did not fill up that cart in 3 weeks, and yet we usually have to take out the trash 3 times a week with 2 other people in here. So that usually doesn't make much sense. Alright, Cameron, I'm gonna have to ask you to cooperate this time, instead of doing whatever it was that you decided to do. With you. Maybe I'll get lucky and he'll drop the skull necklace. Nope, no dice. Well, maybe he did just then. Drop something. Nah, it's just a roop. Just a roop. What a stoop. He dropped a roop. Alright. Some creature's doing awful things to Valu's tail. Are you sure it's the tail? Never mind. Link is standing, like, uncomfortably close to Medley here. So now she'll give you the grappling hook. This was an item used before by the Rito people before they had wings. Also nice upskirt shot right there from Medley. Thanks for that game. I'm willing to bet someone was probably happy to see that. Depending on what you think of Medley. Most people I know like Medley just as a whole. She's not exactly a character that has any reason to not like her. Just kind of like the generic sweet girl of this game, kind of like Malin would be in Ocarina. So basically, if you see any of those little things where you can interact with, Oot, shoot, yeah, that you can interact with, you can use them, and it basically functions the same way that the candle swinging did in Forsaken Fortress / Nico's little minigame. But keep in mind, we still do not have the boss key, so you'll head down here instead. Oh, hey man, what's up? How about your joy pendant, perhaps? Nope. Well, that does give me a good opportunity to surprise you, or not. Is by attacking enemies with the joy pendant, you'll actually grapple off whatever their potential item drop is. So, for those guys, it would be the joy pendants. For the moblins, it's the skull necklaces. For the choo-choos, it's the jelly. And you'll always get it, and they still have a chance of dropping something else. I think once you knock that item off of them, or take it from them, you can't possibly get a second one, but it's a guarantee rather than a chance that they'll drop it. And in the fire. Beautiful. Knew the second the camera started doing whatever it was doing there that we were in trouble. Oh, I thought he was going to land in the lava or just get up again, but I guess not. Alright, whatever. This is just like a joy pendant or some crap. Yeah. Alright, we'll be back here in a minute. For now, gotta head to where the boss key is. So use a spin attack to get rid of all 3 of these, otherwise it'll just, like, push part of the thing down and it'll just tilt at an angle and send you into the lava. Yeah, I might try to do a little bit more of it, at the very least, this game tomorrow, but I kind of want to try to do both, actually. So I might try to push for a Sunday stream. Probably around the same time. I'll probably do it, like, sometime in the afternoon, though. Even though the morning would be better because my parents would be out for church, other people would also be out for church, so kind of defeats the purpose. So we'll just swing backwards here. And ignore those bats. Really don't want to deal. You can also stop with ZR and then shift your position, go farther down, farther up if you need. And there we go. To the boss key room. This is a pretty simple puzzle. What you want to do here is actually not defeat the enemy with an A strike, because you can't beat him normally. Normally he'd roll up in a ball like this and start regaining health. But if you take him here and put him on the switch, that'll get rid of the fire, but you have to have something on that switch, otherwise it will not stay down. And with that, you're pretty much done with the dungeon. Unless you're going back to get the treasure map, which I'm going to do. Because it does lead you to a piece of heart, if I recall right. And if not, it will give me lots of money, and that's also nice. Wow, that was an enemy that had its music playing for all of like 6 seconds. Move back up for this one. Maybe not that far up, a little bit farther down. Need enough of an angle to where I can actually make the jump back. There we go. Easy. They sure do make you do a lot of hiking to get back, though, to from the boss key to where you can actually do something. Go back, like, what, 4 rooms here? Fair bit for the first dungeon of the game. And up we go. And they don't give you a lot of time for the platform to stay up there, so you want to be fast about it. See, vertical slash is the best way to get rid of those guys. I guess they don't spawn until probably the trigger of you picking up the boss key, if I had to guess. This is probably what activates it. Some static in the audio. In my audio or in the game audio? What's there? And again, with that, we're almost done. Audio, okay. That may have actually been like in the proper game, because I heard it kind of going a little static for a second too, but if it's still doing it, because it's not at my end now, then it might actually be something in OBS or the capture, one of the two. Hey, don't bump your head into that. Don't hurt yourself like that, man. Don't beat yourself up. Thankfully, we're about done with the dungeon here anyway. So if you want the treasure chest, once you get to that last pot, jump in it, we're back to the first one. Take a left, enter the first door. Take a right, and it's right there. It's very easy to get to. It takes a lot less time than the boss key does, that's for sure. And on my gamepad, I'll take a quick look around the area to make sure that I didn't miss anything on the other floors. I know there's 2 treasure chests right before the boss room, but those are the only 2 that I should see. And they are. That's good. So it's just the one. Sure, we'll grab these if they've got any chew jelly for me. Nope, alright, that's fine. Figured if the game was gonna offer, I might as well, you know, take it up on the offer. Alright, back to where we were. Did that fire case just come from the pod? What? That ain't normal. That should not happen at all, in fact. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. That was weird. Moving swiftly on. I get a yellow rupee in this first one. The second one you definitely want to pick up here, though. Alright, well, if you're not going to bother me, I won't bother you. The other one is a Knight's Crest. Keep it in your spoils bag. Again, another collectible, but these are a little bit harder to find early game, specifically because, well, the enemy that drops them is not very frequent. Let's grab a fairy. It looks so sad in that bottle. Just in case I get myself killed. And for whatever reason, they give you a second one here. So you have no reason not to go into this battle with full life and at least 1 fairy. Yeah, I kind of figured they did just spawn all over the dungeon. That one coming up through the pot, though, that was weird. That was... I genuinely don't know what happened there. Maybe he just came up from, like, the side of the wall and it looked like he came through the pot, but I swear he came through the pot just then. It was really strange. Meet the first boss that you're going to fight anyway, because you're going to fight the bird later. This thing! It's pretty ugly. Yeah, so the key here is just wait for him to attack and then switch over your grappling hook. And then have it miss randomly, sure. No, you're going to grab onto Blue's tail. He won't mind. He actually will probably mind quite a bit, but not important. Really getting the first hit in Phase 1 is the hardest part of Phase 1. After you've gotten the first hit, the other 2 are very easy to get. Because literally you'll just stand here and wait for him to push the block back up, and then the second that the tail's available to grapple again, you'll just grapple it again. Oh, and would you look at that? He didn't even get to do anything before the second hit. Yeah, sometimes you'll land up here, and normally these pots would have hearts if you're not playing on hero mode. But if they don't, then at least you get a good height advantage on this dude. Makes it even easier to hit the tail than it already was. Ow! That wasn't very nice. Get wrecked. No one needs you. Well, no one needs that shell anyway. Second phase is a little bit easier, I think. That seems to be a gimmick in a lot of Zelda boss fights. Usually the second phase is easier than the first one is. Assuming it's a 2-phase boss and not a 3. If it's a 3, then the 2 is almost guaranteed to be the easiest one. Looking at you, Majora's Incarnation. What are you targeting, Link? There you go. Done and dusted. Yeah, not a hard boss fight at all. Very easy. Very simplistic, but I like that for a first boss. Like, It's easy, it's simplistic, but it's not like Goma levels of like, holy moly, could they have made this any easier? Like, there is some challenge into it, making sure you don't overstep when you're attacking in Phase 2 and falling in the lava, making sure you actually dodge things. Opposed to Goma, where it's just like, hit him with the slingshot, backflip, and then just Deku stick him to death. Deku stick her to death. Alright, give me that 5th heart. I'm ready for this sucker. Beautiful. Alright, let's get out of here. Jeez, it sounds like my dad when he's yawning. Except it's not that quiet. Man, that sky cleared up fast. Alright, Aura, catch you later. We're pretty much done here for at least today, so you're not... all you're going to be missing is the cutscene here at the end and me picking up the Wind's Requiem. Wow, you guys warped over here quickly. Weren't you just at the entrance to the temple? You didn't mistrust me, you just told me to prove myself, and so I did. Plus, if you'd just given it to me, then I wouldn't have been able to save your entire land here. And there's a fair bit you can do at Dragon Roost after this area, or after you've, you know, got Din's Pearl. Some of it we can't do right now because we don't have the necessary items, but either way. Grave Blue is grateful to you? Yeah, I'm not surprised. He had something pulling on his tail. Oh, Hero, thank you. Oh, Hero, use the Wind God's Wind. Use the Wind God's Wind? That's what he said, but I don't understand. I wonder what it means. Yeah, you won't be able to understand that if it's your first playthrough, but if it's on a New Game Plus file, you'll be able to understand what he says. The reason they don't tell you that is some later people that talk in the Hylian tongue will blatantly spoil things if it's your first time playing. So he runs off to get a scale from Valoo, and Medley follows, despite the fact that they're running the wrong way. And we too are actually going to head back up there very quickly, because there's one other thing I want to do. Yeah, if you're wondering what Link's looking at, it's a like little grapple hook thing up there. Which I think you can reach that now. This is a trick you have to know later, at the very least, for the final dungeon of the game. Is if you go all the way up to the top of one of these, you can actually climb up. It does not look like you would be able to at all, but you actually can. And then you can use the grappling hook again. That took me a long time to realize. The first time I went through that area, in the final area, I thought what you had to do was... Yeah, I'm just going to try to jump down here. Ah, I almost made it. Oh well. I almost made it into the water, rather. I thought you'd had to, like, let go of the grappling hook to, like, fly through the air and then try to hook it again in midair. Which was, surprisingly enough, doable, but incredibly hard. And they also wanted to do, if you had to do it that way, you would have had to do it like 4 times in a row. So I realized pretty quickly, like, that's probably not what they want you to do. Oops, too far. So now if you come in here, you'll notice it's a different guy. So this is the new guy that they hired, and he wants to see the legendary 25-letter sort. Dude, what are you doing? Dude, I didn't throw it that way. What are you doing? One more for good measure. 27. That's actually my weakest one. If you were not here for earlier, I got Not in the exact same order, but I had one that was 28, one that was 30, and one that was 29. I think it was the actual order I got it in. It might have been 29, 28, 30. But yeah, you don't get the payment for it this time, sadly, but you do get this letter to send to the post box. And later on, whenever you get a letter from the post box, you'll get a response back thanking you for showing his mom, or his mom will send you a letter thanking you for showing his son, like, you know, basically making his day, and she'll give you a piece of heart for it. Postage only 5 rupees, which sends now. Yeah, sometimes you'll have to pay for postage being sent or received. Because, well, I know Gascan knows this because he works in the mail industry. Back in the day, the person that received the letter was actually the person that had to pay for it, rather than using the stamps now. So we have to set for the south, but we will not be able to go that direction until we have the ability to change the wind. And the way to do that is to head over here. And play this song. You've learned the Wind's Requiem, which will give you a set of all 8 compass directions in the game and let you pick which direction you want the wind to blow. Name's Zephos, I'm the god of wind, so you're the new Wind Waker, aren't you? Great, great. For a beginner, you got a nice wind sense about you. I mean, I am an Aquarius, which sounds like it would be a water symbol, but it's actually air. So, makes sense. So yes, he's also got a brother, Cyclos, whose his monument's broken, so he's going around destroying things. We'll run into him later. He actually gives you a very useful ability whenever you have that, have a previous item to actually get to him. But for the time being, that is not really an option. I'm gonna take that off of the thing so I don't accidentally use my fairy. Oh, right, yeah. You probably can't really do that from the water very well. Instead of watching him play the conducting thing constantly, they only do it this first time, and then after that, it just, like, it's like, okay, which way do you want to change the wind? So we want to change to the south. That's the southeast. Good job, game. Let's try that again. Yeah, see, then it just switches here. That's the actual direction I want to go. If you put it in like a slightly different thing, like southeast, southwest, he will actually not let you change, which is really dumb. With that being said, though, I'm going to save the game. And I think we will call it a stream. Again, I actually really enjoyed playing both of these games today, so I might do a stream tomorrow as well.